G'day and welcome to another episode of Kiwi Car Life, and today we're continuing my comparison of big 6-cylinder engined hatchbacks. A little while ago I compared my 130i with a 3.5 litre V6 engined Toyota Blade, and while there isn't too many other V6 or straight 6 engine hatchbacks on the market, this 2007 Audi A3 3.2 litre is one of them. Today we'll be seeing how Audi's V6 hatchback compares with BMW's straight 6 hatchback. In terms of exterior styling, I think both of these cars look equally good and have actually aged extremely well over time, especially in the red with the nice big 18-inch wheels. I think that this Audi looks really quite nice. The powertrains of these cars are very similar in terms of performance, but differ in terms of the driving layout. The BMW over there has a 3-litre inline 6 in N52 B30. It makes 195 kilowatt or 265 horsepower and 315 newton meters. Naturally, with it being a longitudinally mounted engine, it is rear-wheel drive and power could be sent through either a 6-speed auto or a 6-speed manual. In the case of the Audi, it has a transverse mounted 3.2 litre VR6, and I went into what VR6 or VR4 or W8 means in some of my other videos. Essentially, it shares one cylinder head across all 6 cylinders, but they're kind of staggered in a bit of a Z shape, I suppose, as opposed to being in a straight 6 configuration like the BMW or a V6 with 2 separate heads like, say, my Nissan Skyline. In terms of performance, it's a little bit down on the BMW. It makes 184 kilowatt, but the torque is slightly up at 320 newton meters, and it's paired up with a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, and in typical Audi fashion, power is going to all 4 wheels. In terms of the interior differences, I must say I think the BMW's interior has aged a little bit better, and it still kind of looks like a modern car, whereas you can tell that this car was definitely conceived in the very early 2000s. But that said, the leather seats have very nice bolstering on them, much like my car. The gauges definitely have an older design to them, and the BMW shows a bit more information in the onboard computer. The steering wheel has a very nice leather feeling to it, but because this one's a Japanese import, it doesn't have any buttons or anything on it, so it's not that you can control the radio from the steering wheel, whereas in the BMW you can. But one big advantage of this is that, believe it or not, even though it has a great big drive shaft running down here to run all the 4-wheel drive system, there's actually more room in the back of the Audi than there is in my BMW. So something to keep in mind. Overall, I'd say I think the BMW does have a slightly better aged interior. 3, 2, 1, go. Driving the Audi A3 3.2 litre, oh yes. Feels very similar to mine in terms of the overall performance. Yep, extremely similar. The torque's similar, the power's similar. Of course, with this, you have a dual clutch, which is very, very good. Oh, yep. Okay, I'm going to say right from the off, if you're looking at an automatic Audi A3 versus an automatic 130i, 100% the dual clutch in this is better than the ZF6 in the 130i. The downshifts are way crispier, shorter gears, so it's definitely a little more sort of in the power band, and it's nice having 4-wheel drive where you put your foot down and oh wow, it just pulls you through the corner, eh? And a little bit quieter too. It doesn't make quite so much like exhaust noise or induction noise really. It's definitely a more luxurious, smooth and comfortable kind of ordeal, as opposed to the 1 Series, which is very sporty. But the transmission, man, absolutely excellent. You know, both up and down gears. It's just fantastic. The downshifts on these dual clutches are so good. I think there's a nearly 20-year-old gearbox. This is 2007, and it's still like 80% as good as any modern transmission, and arguably, you can almost argue that it's actually better. Oh, bit of Audi understeer. This is awesome, eh? Oh, it drives so good. It's just a confidence-inspiring car. It's fast, sounds good, great gearbox, handles so well, go right down into first gear, no problem, foot down, good power delivery. Man, it's awesome, eh? The 130i, how does it compare? Slightly longer second, I can tell straight away, so even though it makes more power, it doesn't actually feel quite as quick from like really low revs. And you know, it might only be rear wheel drive, but in good conditions like this, I would argue that it puts power down just as well as that Audi. Foot to the floor, zero wheel spin. It's pretty darn good. This definitely has grabbier brakes as well. This car's got sharper steering. It's available with a manual, which makes it super fun to drive. I think the front end is a little more planted. Arguably could just be because of slightly better tires, but also I think because the front end only has to focus on doing the steering as opposed to steering and driving the car along, it does definitely make a difference. Oh yes, 3-litre straight six, good strong engine. In terms of which one I prefer, look, I'm always going to prefer a manual, so from my perspective, unless the Audi was manual as well, there really is no comparison, because being able to heel toe rev match down into second, nail it, up into third, into fourth, like you just can't beat that. The Audi's four-wheel drive is really quite good. The automatic is also very good, but being able to shift your own gears is pretty darn fun too, I've got to say. So I guess you'll just have to decide, do you want the slightly more silly, fun, manual, rear-wheel drive 130i that'll kind of slip around a little bit, or do you want the rock-solid, planted, and very proficient Audi? And I guess you'll just sort of have to drive both and decide for yourself, but one thing's for sure, I couldn't be happier with this 130i. It's flipping awesome. So there we go, thanks very much for watching, and I will very much look forward to seeing you again next time.